Hi, so my name's James Tyndall. I'm participating in an electronic and electrical engineering HNC project. For my project, I've chosen to do a home control system. So there's 3 stages to doing a project. There's formulation, an implementation stage, and a presentation stage, which we're at now. The project was started in October, and over the course of the months leading up to May, which we're at now, we had 16 weeks allocated to carry out the project in internal college time plus any extra curricular activities at home. My project's been monitored and recorded using a project planner and a project logbook. So onto formulation. Initially sort of brainstormed ideas, things that might be able to come up with and feasible, trying to link it into work-related skills that I've picked up in college and at work during the course of my career. Some of the ideas that I come up with, I narrowed down to 3 suitable options that were kind of work-related. One of them was a substation monitoring system. I'm currently training to be a HV engineer, so that's sort of linked into that side of my work. Another would be a remote control LV circuit via a panel or pillar. So on HV networks, you have a telecontrol room. They can switch on and off circuits and move parts of the network around, but you don't really have that for an LV system. So for big companies where they've got panels, I thought that might be a good idea to try and implement that. And the other idea was to come up with a home control system. I reviewed these ideas, went back to a group and got some feedback. The substation monitoring system and the the remote control LV circuit, the sheer scale and cost of those was likely to be too big, and trying to implement that and bring it into a scalable project in college would be too difficult, I think. So I went with the home control system. So my project outline was to design and build a home control system that could be operated via a microcontroller and a mobile phone. The way I would link this into work would be that for the HV switching, they virtually use telecontrol systems anyway, and using a mobile phone operating system, you're essentially doing the same thing, but just via a Wi-Fi network, so to speak. So home automation is the control of household appliances in a residential situation. You can control lights, heating, air conditioning, the possibilities endless. At the moment, there are other home automation systems that you can buy. Philips do one, Samsung, British Gas do one called Hive. The problem with these is you have to buy a hub, which is quite expensive. They vary from sort of £50 to £100, and you're limited to buying those appliances, such as lights and sockets that go into your walls, and they can vary from anything from £15 to £50. So, and you're stuck with that one particular brand. You can't sort of match other parts up together, so it can prove to be quite expensive. So my scope was to implement a low-cost, reliable and scalable automation system that could be operated by a mobile phone. The justification was to help assist and save time, money and effort while using these at home. I initially got the idea from a friend of a friend who's an electronic engineer. He wired up his whole house with electronic circuits, so he could control his whole house from his phone.
Did he?
But the whole thing, he had to rip floorboards up in this, and he had a distribution box and an electronic box with all relays and that. But you know, for the day-to-day person to try and do that yourself, you'd have to have a lot of knowledge. So I thought it'd be better to go through a Wi-Fi connection through phone. It sounds difficult, but I did a bit of research on it and I thought it might be achievable. And during this, I sort of set myself a budget of £100. After speaking to my course coordinator, originally decided to go for a Raspberry Pi or Arduino microcontroller, but after speaking to Masood, course coordinator, he said I could use the resources in college, use the MX20, which would greatly reduce the cost. So I went along those lines for the implementation stage. So I started to do design, The problem I did have is that you can't take the units home. They did have units to lend out, but they'd already been lent out, so I struggled there, and the time was sort of going on in the project, so I had to do a change request form. I sourced another microcontroller, which I ordered. So it might be difficult to see here, but I've got, this is a logbook that I've kept a record of. I've put pictures of on the different parts of the build stage, and I've put a description. I did a monthly review of work that I'd done, in line with a project plan.
Right.
This is my project planner.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Because you're over 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. And yeah, these are just test pictures showing that I'm using the app there, and this is showing that I finished the formulation stage ahead of schedule, but I overrun some of my targets for the implementation stage, mainly due to resourcing. And this is just pictures of it working via a mobile app. This is an app that is a free app that I downloaded off an app store and operating a light system there. So learnings, what I learned is how to respond to problems. Issues with resourcing. I had issues with resourcing, so I had to do a change request form to go from one microcontroller to the other. Good points, I set out what I achieved to do. The bad points is the project didn't exactly go according to schedule. I finished some things ahead of schedule, but mainly the implementation stage overran due to resourcing. If I could have changed things, I would have maybe simplified the project. Initially I wanted to control 2 or 3 different items within a home, and essentially I modified it so I would just operate one system at a time. Was it a success? Sorry, it did work. It does show the benefits of using a microcontroller at home. I do with my daughter, 6-year-old daughter. She'll wake up in the middle of the night. She needs to go to the toilet. She'll be too scared to go. So essentially, I can use my phone to switch a light on and off, so she can just go walk across the landing. And that was sort of why I wanted to do it. The drawbacks, it does rely where I've downloaded a free app. Because I couldn't build an app myself to do a mobile operating system, it relies on that server and a Wi-Fi connection. So if the server from the app was down, essentially you wouldn't be able to use it. And if you didn't have a Wi-Fi connection in your home, for whatever reason your router would go down, then it wouldn't operate. But it's very low costing compared to the microcontroller. I sourced all the equipment for less than £25. So I did the project for a quarter of what I projected in the beginning. So.
Excellent. That's a really